Hello my fellow hunters, maybe you have seen the skill priority for common skills for Sunbreak Switch X with normal skills that are triggered all the time, and now after a few weeks I am releasing the skill priority by optimized skill level including triggerable skills. So first of all, this sounds a little bit complicated. What I want to do is I add all triggerable new exclusive Sunbreak skills. And I also heard in a lot of video and also recognized in a lot of speedruns that for the new skills, for almost every new skill from Sunbreak, one level is enough. Because new Sunbreak skills tend to be at first level absolute crazy, and then the second and third level is not really a big increase in comparison to the first level. So yes, using the first level of new Sunbreak skills is absolutely recommended, and also used in every speedruns. I also have to mention I only recommend using the skills for speedrunning, especially because it's very tricky to build around with, and you also have to choose another weapons. For example, for the Dragon Switch X, I recommend to use the Wild Strokes over Death Stench, because for Death Stench it's very tricky to build around with, because you need all that handicraft management with protective polish and other stuff. Yes, and so maybe the weapons you're gonna pick then are gonna be changing. First of all, before starting with this video, I have to say thanks to Kookaburra, who updated the Switch X calculator to version 3.0.1. I'm gonna maybe drop a link to the spreadsheet in the button down below, or maybe I'm gonna just copy his calculator, which is now updated and got new functions, to the spreadsheet. You can see here he added a lot of new skills, but currently I'm only talking about the skills that are used in speedruns or just very useful. So there's also a table by thanks to Mia's Nerd World, and he made this table where we can grab the data from how much is the percentage increase of which skill as, and he figured out the values for Dereliction, Male of Hellfire, Bloodlust from Gormagala, Coalescence, Resentment, Resuscitate, which currently nobody uses. It's not really useful because we didn't have the Wild Strux, armor doesn't matter anymore. Chain Crit, Attack Boost, Agitator, Maximum Might, Weakness Exploit, Critical Eye. So yes, he figured out for all those skills. And for those skills, I'm gonna make the video now. There are also some other skills like Foray or Grinder or what else, but I'm currently or Counter-Strike, but I currently didn't integrate it now into the calculation. So yes, thanks for him. Okay, just a short explanation for Chain Crit. You can see here at first level you gain 8 element, and sorry, I'm gonna choose another one here. At the first level you gain 10 attack and 8 element, and for Chain Crit second level only 2 raw more and only 2 element more. So this is very very low. Only 2 attack and 2 element for a level 2 slot or level 3 slot, currently we didn't know. That is very very low. So Chain Crit 3, to be honest, isn't really worth it, but I recommended it for the common skills. Yes, and now to the triggerable skills. Most powerful is still Rapid Morph, absolute crazy for every playstyle. So the second most important skill, you can see here we are using a lot of level 1 skills, is Chain Crit level 1, has a pretty much better efficiency than the 3 slotted variation. You can see here for the fully slotted variation per slot, the slot efficiency is about 2.8 up to 3% damage increase, and for Chain Crit level 1 it is for the slot efficiency about 5 up to 6%, which is about the double efficiency. So yes, Chain Crit level 1 is enough. Absolute crazy for the slot efficiency, the second best skill you can use for Switch X. Then also Dereliction. I know maybe a lot of you didn't really like the skill, but it's the third strongest skill you can use for Switch X, especially for Powerfire. It's absolutely crazy. Dereliction is giving you about 20 attack. It can also give you element on the red scroll, but yes, I highly recommend using it on the blue scroll for the aerial Switch X style. because yes, it scales better with aerial switch X dereliction, and for the compensation I have 2 queros are activated, because for 3 it will take a little bit longer time, and you can see here, yes, rank 3 currently, which increases your power file DPS about up to 5.5%, and for the elemental file about 4.5 or 5%. It scales a lot better with aerial playstyle, you can see here, because for more raw fixed damage numbers. And yes, Dereliction very good for aerial switch X playstyle. Now coalescence, also extremely good skill, but it only works if you also have Bloodlust. So if you have to use, to be honest, the priority is Bloodlust over coalescence, because otherwise it's very hard to trigger. So every time you have to use Bloodlust and coalescence at the same time. So they have, to be honest, the same priority, but Bloodlust a little bit more. Yeah, so we can see coalescence also absolute crazy. The element you gain is very low. You gain about 12 attack or so. Maybe we can make a quick test here. Coalescence level 1 you gain 12 raw and 2 element, and on the second level only 1 element more, so level 2 is garbage. Level 1 is crazy, 12 raw and 2 element. So maybe for elemental for elemental fire it isn't that useful. You can see it here. Yes, coalescence, you can see here, scales very good with grounded playstyle, because yes, and also very good with aerial switch X. But you can see here, for elemental better for aerial, and for grounded better for power. So it's a little bit complicated, but very strong still. Yes, and if you use coalescence, you also have to use Bloodlust, and you have to overcome the virus. So you have to do a lot of damage in a few seconds. That's not really that bad, because you have CSD, and after 1 CSD it's activated and a few hits. Yes, Bloodlust damage increase is still better than weakness exploit and all the other common skills. You gain 20% affinity. For aerial switch X it is not that useful, because aerial switch X didn't need that crit. You can see it here. Yes, but for grounded play style it is crazy amount of damage you gain. Yes, because grounded play style scales better with crit, yes, and for aerial it is maybe not the best choice, but still working very well with coalescence. Now to Mail of Hellfire. The thing is, Mail of Hellfire didn't synergizes with Dereliction, because you gain the attack buff on the blue scroll, and on Dereliction you gain the attack buff on the red scroll, so they didn't work together. So you have to use either Mail of Hellfire or Dereliction. If you have some problems with losing health, you can use Mail of Hellfire. But my personal choice is Dereliction. You can see here very much better potential. For example, for aerial SA 5% damage increase, and for Mail of Hellfire only 3.5. So you can see here Dereliction has a lot better potential. And also the other scroll version is very powerful. For elemental vials, 3 up to 4% damage increase. And if you go to Mail of Hellfire, the element version is absolute garbage. Only 1% increase for elemental vial and 0.3% for power vial. So absolute useless. So yes, I didn't really recommend using Mail of Hellfire, and instead using more Dereliction. Okay, now you can see chain crit 3 here. Level 1 is still enough. And any other skills? Yes, we talked about Bloodlust, which is very good for grounded playstyle, but I recommend still using it because of coalescence. Then attack boost, you can see here, maybe I think attack boost 4 is enough. You didn't really have to max out attack boost 7, because after attack boost 4 the slot efficiency just slightly increases by 0.1%. So I think maybe attack boost 4 is enough, and instead that using more exclusive Sunbreak skills. Also here some look into other skills. Agitator, Resentment, didn't really recommend to use that skills, only about 1% damage increase. Critical boost, also very useless for Switch X. only, for example, for Ariel, only 0.6 or 0.8% damage increase. Didn't really recommend to use critical boost at all. Yes, and critical eye and critical element also completely useless currently, or didn't really make the difference, because we have huge, much better Sunbreak skills. So just after slapping all that data in the face of you, I'm gonna just recommend you some skills for the best priority. So I just recommend using, if you wanna experiment with the new Sunbreak skills, Rapid Move maxed out, Chain Grid level 1, Dereliction level 1, Coalescence level 1, Bloodlust level 1, because all the other skills are just you get 5% affinity more, and from Bloodlust 1 you get 20% affinity. Yes, but also good for Coalescence, like I explained. Also 1 level of Coalescence, Tiny Purple Sharpness Management, Weakness Exploit also maxed out with Elemental Attack. And this is the part where you didn't have to max out your skills anymore. Power Prolonger 2 or 3 levels depending on the file type. Attack boost level 4 should be also okay, because instead of losing 3 joules for attack boost, you can now experiment with new Sunbreak skills. And yes, crit skills very useless, you can see here. In comparison to the new Sunbreak skills, didn't really recommend using a lot of crit skills. Yes, that was it. Maybe you can look more deep view. I just drop a link at the bottom down below so you can see it yourself at the website. For the new tab, I'm calling here a skill priority. So you can see here the tab new skill priority by optimized skill level, and then you can make some experiments. Maybe I'm gonna release a separate meta video for Elemental Switch X, where I experiment or show you some usage of the skills. Also have to mention at the end of the video, for these skills, they're only for Elemental Switch X. So this can be applied to a KO, Para, Blast or anything else Switch X. So yes, thanks for watching, see you next time guys.